Martin Luther wrote the 95 Theses on the power and efficacy of indulgences in 1517. This sparked the initiation of what was called the Catholic or Protestant Reformation. Martin Luther was born on November 10, 1483, and died on February 18, 1546. He originally was following in his father's footsteps and becoming a lawyer. However, at the age of 21, Luther committed an act of rebellion by leaving his family and studies in order to become a monk. Being drawn to theology and philosophy, Luther concentrates on his own personal purity and relationship with God. After becoming a priest and a professor of theology, Martin Luther came to the realization that the church and its practices were corrupt due to these things known as indulgences. The final straw that made Luther snap was that the church was selling indulgences in order to raise money to rebuild St. Peter's Basilica in Rome. On October 31st in 1517, Martin Luther wrote to his bishop, Albert of Mainz, his 95 Theses, also known as the Disputation on the Power and Efficacy of Indulgences. These theses had 95 scholarly objections to the church practices. Luther's 95 Theses centers on the practices within the Catholic Church regarding baptism and absolution. Luther's argument was that the sale of indulgences was a violation of the original intention of confession and penance. Christians were being falsely told that they could find absolution through the purchase of indulgences. Thesis 86 was probably the most obvious about the matter at hand. It read, "Why does the Pope, whose wealth today is greater than the wealth of the richest Crassus, build the Basilica of St. Peter's with the money of the poor believers rather than with his own money?" According to scholars, Luther nailed his 95 Theses to the door of All Saints Church in Wittenberg on October 31st, 1517, sparking the Reformation. However, it was not until January 1518 that friends of Luther translated the 95 Theses from Latin into German, printed, and widely copied, making the controversy one of the first in history to be aided by the printing press. Within 2 weeks, copies of these had spread throughout Germany, and within 2 months, throughout all of Europe. In 1521, Luther is summoned by the Holy Roman Emperor Charles V, and with Pope Leo's consent, he declares Luther a heretic and is banished from the Holy Roman Empire. Because of Martin Luther's 95 Theses, a religious movement occurred that split the Christian church into two divisions. One remained the Catholic Church, and the other side that followed the beliefs of Martin Luther was known as Protestant. Luther believed that humans could not reach salvation by their own acts, but that only God could bestow salvation by his divine grace. The Catholic Church taught that salvation was possible through good works or good work of righteousness that pleased God. It's clearly seen today that the church is still split between Catholics and Protestants. Protestants still believe that the Bible alone is the source of God's special revelation to mankind and teaches us all that is necessary for our salvation from sin. Protestants view the Bible as the standard by which all Christian behavior must be measured. Catholics, on the other hand, believe that the Bible alone is not sufficient. They believe that both the Bible and sacred Roman Catholic tradition are equally binding upon the Christian faith. Many Roman Catholic doctrines, such as purgatory, praying to the saints, worship, or veneration of Mary, etc., have little or no basis in Scripture, but are based solely on Roman Catholic traditions. It's safe to say that Martin Luther's 95 Theses still has an impact on religion today through Protestantism.